matching invoices with bank deposits. Ugh, it can be a real pain. You're jumping between screens, constantly verifying every single deposit.
Yeah.
It just seems like it wastes so much time and leads to errors too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially when you have a lot of transactions. It's a big pain point for businesses.
So we have Noorul. She's an associate software engineer over at Tana Solutions. And she actually tackled this problem head on for one of her clients.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah, so imagine this. You're going through trying to reconcile invoices. And then to actually figure out if the payment's been deposited, you have to go into your bank record separately.
Yeah.
Pretty annoying, right?
Oh, absolutely. So inefficient. And yeah, it definitely increases the chance that something is going to slip through the cracks.
Yeah, Noorul's client felt the same exact way. They wanted to be able to see that deposit info right there on the invoice. Yeah, without having to click around or do any digging.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. How'd she do it?
Well, she came up with this really smart idea. What if the deposit number on the invoice was actually a clickable link? A link that took you directly to the bank deposit record.
Oh, so instead of just showing you the number, it takes you right to the info you need. That's pretty clever. Using the existing features in a new way.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part is it doesn't require you to make any huge changes to the software. Noorul was able to do this with some custom coding and basically just making that deposit number field dynamic.
Oh, so when the deposit is made, that info is instantly reflected on the invoice.
Exactly. No more manual cross-checking or searching through stuff. So it saves a ton of time and reduces those errors.
I love it. A small change to the user interface with a big impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's only part of it. What's really impressive is how Noorul actually came up with this solution.
Yeah, how'd she get there? It's always interesting to hear about the process. So how did she go from that client frustration to an elegant solution like that?
Well, it all started with actually listening to the client's concerns. They didn't just dismiss it as like, oh, it's just a little annoying, Noorul and her team really took the time to understand why this was such a pain point for them.
Yeah, empathy is so important. It's really easy to just jump into the technical stuff without thinking about the human side.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then from there, they really did a deep dive into that existing workflow, mapping out every single step, just looking for that root cause of the inefficiency. Because it wasn't just about finding the deposit info, it was about getting rid of all those extra steps of searching and cross-referencing.
Oh, so it's like a detective, finding that one clue that cracks the whole case wide open.
Exactly. And that's where Noorul's creativity really shines. Once they realized that the problem wasn't just the data, but the process of accessing it, she was able to come up with a super innovative solution.
I like that. Understanding the problem from the user's perspective. So did the client see a big improvement after they implemented this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The client said they saw huge time savings when they were doing their invoice reconciliation. And when you really think about it, all that time they saved, that's a direct cost savings. And now their team can focus on more important things.
Yeah, a small change with a big impact.
For sure. Now, we've been talking about this one specific solution, but what I really like is a problem-solving approach itself. Something we can all use in different parts of our work.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it would be helpful for our listeners to really break down that process a bit more.
So let's break this down a bit. What made Noorul's approach so effective? What can our listeners learn from this, even if they aren't, software developers or anything?
Well, I think it comes down to a few key things. First, they really focused on empathy, understanding why the user was so frustrated. And that helped them define the problem in the right way.
Yeah, it is easy to just jump into trying to solve things without actually taking the time to figure out what the problem really is.
Exactly. And that's where the second thing comes in, analysis. They didn't just assume they knew what was causing the problem. They really stepped back and analyzed how things were working to find that bottleneck.
Yeah, like a detective, right?
Yeah.
Gathering evidence before jumping to any conclusions.
Exactly. And only then did they get creative and design that solution.
A solution that had fixed the root cause, not just the symptoms.
Yep. And they didn't stop there. They tested it thoroughly to make sure it was reliable and did what it was supposed to.
Testing is so important, making sure the solution actually works and doesn't create any new problems.
For sure.
So to recap, empathy, analysis, creativity, and testing. Those are the principles, and they can be applied to any problem really, big or small, technical or not.
Yeah, I think that's a great takeaway for our listeners. Next time you're dealing with something frustrating at work, remember Noorul's approach. Take some time to understand why it's happening, break down how it's working, and then get creative with your solutions.
And if you're looking for some help, to streamline your business processes.
Yeah.
Or use technology to make things more efficient. Remember, Tayana's here to help.
Oh yeah, they can definitely help you find those hidden inefficiencies and create custom solutions that actually make a difference.
So there you have it. Sometimes the best solutions are the ones that simplify things, the ones that make our work lives a little bit easier.
Who doesn't want that, right? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep those workflows running smoothly.